Hello, this is Sheshachalam from AstroGuide Mysore. As I did a video yesterday on SARPASAPA yoga and the link with progeny, because the SARPASAPA yoga has a lot of other things to do also, but here, as given in the books, it is more focused in understanding why there is a loss of progeny, difficult to conceive, or lot of negativities with regard to children, or no child at all, or repetitive abortions. We'll come to those things. I have a lot of charts to put on. These are all live real charts, but I have not given any details here because anyway confidence has to be maintained. So this chart, case number 1, we can see that the ascendant falls in the sign of Taurus, and the first criteria for Sarpasapa Yoga satisfies here. That is, the second house and the fifth house are afflicted by Mars and Rahu. And here, Mars is a Maraka. Very important to understand this particular point. Mars is a Maraka for this native, yes, no doubt. But where is it placed? It is placed in the fifth house, and that is progeny. So, the fifth lord has gone to the fourth house, it is retrograde, which is the 12th from the fifth. Bhavat Bhava principle, if I take the fifth house, then if I start counting, Mercury, the lord of the sign of Virgo, is in the 12th house, which actually indicates loss. Not just by the placement of the fifth lord in the fourth house that there will be loss of progeny. There should be a strong negative yoga like Sarpasapa yoga, because usually when the fifth lord goes to the fourth house or the Lagna lord goes to the 12th house, either the native himself travels abroad or his children may go and settle abroad or far away from the native due to many variety of issues, because of parents getting separated. That can happen in one chart. The other chart will have good relationship with children. So let us not go into those complications. It's a lots we have to see in this. Anyway, here the Sarpasapa yoga is fully seen in this chart. The second house, Kutumbasthana, that is the house of family, is afflicted. Mars, which is the 12th and the 7th lord, which is the lord of loss, has hit the fifth house, which has forced, the Lord has to do something to make its, particular thing work. So, the native's child, that is progeny, has gone to college far away from the place of birth in a different city, living alone. So what has happened is that has gone through a lot of difficulties in life, and then loss of life. So the loss of life is a huge thing for a parent. This is the parent's chart. So that is seen in this chart, and I have not put all the intricate details of the D9 and the other placements and the degrees because it is highly sensitive data. So coming to this chart number 2, you can again see that from the ascendant sign of Libra, the fifth house falls in the sign of Aquarius, where we have Rahu. And the fifth lord, Saturn, is in the 7th house, debilitated. Okay. The 7th lord, that is the dispositor of the fifth lord, is Mars, which has gone to the 8th house. once again. So what has happened to the fifth lord? It has gone to the Maraka Sthana, and it is the house of Mars. So this is what is to be understood in Sarpasapa Yoga, that the fifth lord, the fifth house, being associated with Rahu or Mars, the second lord or the second house being associated with Rahu or Mars, because Mars being placed in the second house will be aspecting, if at all it is here, so it will be aspecting 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth aspect on the fifth house. So the main two planets concerned in Sarpasapa Yoga are Mars and Rahu, which are very dangerous for progeny when it is placed in bad places. But you might also go and refer to another yoga where Bahuputra Yoga, you get Rahu placed in the fifth house, but it is not afflicted. It should not be afflicted. It will give a lot of children. You should understand the difference between having a lot of children and having one child, which is Ekaputra Yoga with son in the fifth, or you should have a very difficult childbirth, but also that will give rise to a very good progeny, one or two, that is with Jupiter in the fifth house. So these benefics, when they are sitting in the fifth house, will give a lot of difficulty with regard to children in the first half of their life, and afterwards they will pick up. With the malefic in the fifth house, Rahu gives Bahuputra Yoga. But anyway, the quality of the children are to be understood by the respective placements of other planets, the fifth lord, the seventh lord, and the ninth lord. So that has been very nicely, commented by, many astrologers. A lot of commentaries are there on the worthwhile, having worthwhile progeny or good children. So in both these charts, the difficulty which these charts have gone through with regard to their children is to be seen from the period when there was a loss of life only. I'm showing loss of life here. I don't like to discuss that, but anyway, that is the uh, chapter which we are discussing about. So the loss of life is because it was running through the Mercury Dasha in this chart, which is the fifth lord, which represents the fifth house. Here it was running Saturn Dasha, which again represents the fifth house. So the transits and everything have to be seen here to establish whether the intensity is too high, negative intensity is there. So now, whether this, or negative gets cancelled in a chart, then how it can get cancelled in a chart? So please try to understand this. In this chart it is too hard. But if I put another planet in this place, so let me put this here, it would have changed the whole story. It would have changed the whole story, because it would have become Chandra Mangala Yoga, a yoga which gives strength to the house that is the native's daughter or son, and that person would have become very strong in the mind. So this is not here now. So if I put another planet like Venus, anyway, Venus will be somewhere here, but Venus here and the fifth lord not being retro, these things will change the whole scope of the chart. So, in that case, Venus becomes debilitated. Yeah, it becomes debilitated here, but because anyway, that challenge will be there then. The challenge will be there even if there is Venus here. So, this retrogression is playing a very important role in this chart. So, this is an example, two examples of Sarpasapa Yoga. These are live charts. These are not charts, made up charts. These are charts which I have discussed. Maybe 2 or 3 years back, I have discussed. These are very tough charts to actually discuss. In chart 2, if it becomes retro Saturn, then the chances are more weak. Yeah, if this becomes retro Saturn, it will be Nicha Vakra Shani, which actually gives strength to Shani and to counteract. But here it is very weak Saturn. Fine. So God bless you and thank you very much for today's class. I'll be putting up some more examples on Sarpasapa Yoga to make things clear because this is a very tough subject to understand. Thank you.
We will also come along with the videos on cancellation, the placement of
Cancellations. Yes, we will do that.
Placement of planets.
We need to give the positive side also. That how Sarpasapa Yoga
was
formed, but still they have
of
child and it's still running well, and how it got cancelled. We will do that. There are a lot of charts for that.
Okay.
Thank you.